A defensive rusher in this league is the most physically demanding position a player can have. It requires speed, strength, stamina, consistency, and mental toughness to be the best. For those of you who don't know, it's the rusher's job to either sack the quarterback by pulling his flag or to put enough pressure on him to make a bad play. There are two markers set on the field. One is at the line of scrimmage, the other is 5 yards past that. A rusher must start from behind the second marker, otherwise it's a penalty. This position is not for the weak-hearted. The offensive centers will do everything he can within the rules to make sure his quarterback stays safe. If you don't have strength, you're gonna get flattened. If you don't have speed, you'll never get to the quarterback in time. If you don't have stamina, you won't last more than a few plays. We've seen players come and go from this position. Some go home crying and others step up to become legends. I'm Steven from Tough League TV, and this is Tough Top 5's best Titan Division rushers of the Summer 17 season. To make this list, we didn't just go by the amount of sacks a player made this season. A lot of different things went into consideration, and we did some serious statistical analyzing. We combined the season's total sacks with the amount of interceptions or bad plays they forced the QB to make, how consistent their pressure stayed throughout the season, as well as how hard or how easy their schedule was. There are some players who are high up on the leaderboards, but majority of those sacks came from lower level teams. There's also players who have 6 or 7 sacks throughout the season, but 5 of them came from a single game. We made this list based on a player's performance throughout the entire summer season, not just 1 or 2 games. But after hours of scouring through the game film, we came up with a list of the Titan Division's top performing rushers. With that said, let's get right into it. Number 5 on the list and number 20 for the Tide. Chase Savage is a fast and powerful rusher with the stamina to give opposing quarterbacks fits throughout the entire 60 minutes. When you look at the personal statistics, Shea did not record as many sacks this year as other rushers on our list, but despite his 4 sacks, he made up for it with constant pressure. He definitely gets the assist for his team's 22 interceptions this season, a monster number that we see continuing into the playoffs. Jimmy Gonzalez, number 24 of the Goonies, takes the 4 spot here. He was consistent throughout the season, recording at least 1 sack in half of his games this season. Gonzalez also made a case for being a top rusher when he took down Jake Purdy twice in his game against the 8-0 Phantoms. That's 20% of all sacks against Purdy this season, not to mention being able to beat Win McEloney to get there. Gonzalez definitely gives his team a chance to get off the field every play. For number 3, we are going off the beaten path and honoring the entire Phantom squad. A little unconventional, but when you have a team that records at least 1 sack in every game and multiple sacks in 6 out of 8, they certainly deserve to be here. Anchored by number 21, Derek Wallace with 8 sacks, the Phantoms created nightmares for quarterbacks across the Van Nuys Titan Division. 6 different players recorded a sack this season, so this spot is definitely earned. Number 2 on our list is a player that had a huge impact on the number 1 seed in the Mid-City Titan Division. Ducks rusher number 33, Wenceslas Rivas, recorded 10 sacks and did so in 5 separate games throughout the season. He had a standout game when it counted the most when the Ducks took down the Tide. Taking down Billy Hudson 3 times in 1 game is deserving of being on this list on its own. If not for the pure dominance of our number 1 pick, Wenceslas Rivas would be there and he would most certainly deserve it. Before we get to number 1, the Titan Division is where the premier talent comes to play. There are playmakers littering the field throughout the season. With that being said, they all couldn't fit onto our top 5, so we have a few more to mention. Joe Smith, number 22 of the Venom. Consistency is the name of Joe's game as he recorded a sack in 5 of 8 games this season. If the Venom can get back to their winning ways next season, he will be a big reason why. Also worth noting, with 5 sacks on the season and 2 against the Tide, Avenal Cabot is another premier rusher. As well, you have Ratuan Malone of the Polars recording 5 sacks in 2 games, which is a feat in itself. Also want to mention Christian Jackson of the Savages and Kym Clark of the Venom, who both had 4 sacks on the season. Leading our list is Blue Fire standout number 32, Hunter Garner. Not enough can be said about Garner as he went on to break the sack record for Tough League this season by racking up 23 sacks. Not only that, but he did so in just 6 games. That's right, he missed 2 games in the middle of the season. That didn't matter to Hunter as he created a mismatch in every game he played, utilizing both speed and excellent footwork. He not only deserves to be on the top spot on this segment, but he was born for it. Congratulations to Hunter Garner for not only topping our list, but Tuff League's single-season sack leader list. I'm sure there are players out there who may disagree with this list, and other than the fact that the only statistic a rusher gets recorded are the sacks that are made, any top list is pure opinion. Like we said before, we took careful consideration in making this list. We looked at a bunch of factors other than recorded stats and picked out who we thought were standout rushers. Like it or not, that was Tough Top 5's Titan Division leading rushers.